Welcome to Lunch with the Lord. I'm Pastor Mark. We are in 1 Peter chapter 3, and we are starting verse 12 this lesson. But before we begin, Jeremiah 15:16, Thy words were found, and I did eat them. And thy word was unto me the joy and the rejoicing of my heart. Now, as we saw last lesson, the last previous lessons, Peter here is talking to them, and he says, for he that will love life and see good days, for us to love life here on earth, we need to see it as God sees it, and to see good days, agathos, good, meaning good from God, goodness, good days that are caused from the goodness and greatness of God, all right? He that loves life and see good days, there are four things that we need to do. Okay, we need to refrain our tongues from speaking evil, and our lips that they speak no guile. Let us eschew evil and do good, and let him seek peace and ensue it. All right, seek peace and go after peace. Not only just seek peace, but go after it, really pursue it hotly, and reconciliation with people, okay? And now we get into the reason why we are doing these four things in order to love life and see good days. And that's verse 12 here. And he says, because, or for, the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. Now, for the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous. And over here, the Greek word is epi, and it means upon something, okay? God's eyes are always upon his children, and not in a judgmental or in a condemning way, but in love, care, and guidance. God's eyes are upon us. All right? So, to love life and see good days, we refrain from these four, we obey these four things, all right? And he says, why? Because the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous. God is watching our life. God sees us, and he knows our thoughts from our intents, and God knows us, and therefore the eyes of God are upon us. And then it says here, and his ears are open unto their prayers. And God is always waiting and ready to hear from his children. In fact, it seems that God is more ready to hear our prayers than we are to pray. And many times I think because of guilt or condemnation or whatever, we shy away from praying to God. And therefore, but God is more ready to hear our prayers many times than we are to actually pray to him and to talk to him. In Isaiah 65, verse 24, it says, and it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. In Jeremiah 33, verse 3, call unto me, and I will answer thee, and I will show thee great and mighty things which you know not. And then in Luke chapter 11, verse 9, and I say unto you, ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. And then 1 John chapter 5, famous verses of scripture here that you've probably heard many times. 1 John 5 verses 14 and 15. And this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have the petitions that we desired of him. You know, it's a tremendous comfort and a tremendous promise that we have that God is ever present to hear the desires of our heart. So, why is it important for us to do these 4 things, to love life and to see good days? Because God is always watching us, and God is ever present to hear our prayers. He's ever present for us to talk to him and to pour out our hearts to him. And then it says, but the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. And evil here, again, is kakos, and it means intrinsic evil. And it's an evil that originates from the depths of our old sin nature, which will only result in Satan's kingdom being advanced. Okay? The face of the Lord is against those that advance Satan's kingdom, his kingdom of evil. So God's face is against those that do evil. Do evil, all right? Now, I wanted us to spend the last part of this message on the word face. The face of the Lord is against them that do evil. You know, more than any other part of the human body, the face gives identity, character, and feeling of the whole body. To know how a person feels, to know if you are accepted or if you're rejected, to know if you're being loved or hated, if you're being forgiven or not forgiven, to know whether you are important to this person or whether you're not important. You must only look to the face. The face represents the very character and nature of a person. You know, to see the form of a human body slowly walking towards you on a dark evening brings fear, and it brings anxiety and a multitude of diverse thoughts. If you were out at night and you're walking on a street or wherever, sidewalk, and you're there alone, and you see the form of a person walking towards you, and it's night, and this person's dark, and there becomes some fear and anxiety that is created in our hearts, all right? Whether it will go good with you or whether it will go bad will depend upon the only part of the body that means anything at that time. And that part of the body is the face, all right? Whose body does this belong to? Only when I see the face will I know how it will go with me. And that's how it is. When you see the form of this body walking towards you at night, and there's fear and anxiety, you wonder what will happen. But it's not until you see the face will you understand it's going to go good for me or it's going to go bad for me. Okay? When something goes wrong in your life, what will be the face that will meet you with your father or your mother, with your son or daughter, with your husband or wife? when things begin to happen in your life, maybe not even necessarily sinful things, but maybe trials and things. You lose your job, or you lose your car, or what happens when things begin to disrupt in your life. What will be the face of the person who meets you? Your wife, your husband, your father or mother, your boss. What you want to see their face, okay? In Hebrews 10, verse 30 and 31, it says, "For we know him that has said, Vengeance belongs unto me, I will recompense, saith the Lord. And again, the Lord shall judge his people." Verse 31 is the key. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. And I want us to understand also that it is also a fearful thing to look into the face of an angry God. It's very fearful. It's going to be a tremendous, tremendous deep fear when the unsaved people stand before God at the white throne judgment, and they face, they come to him face to face, and all is revealed just by looking in his face. All is going to be revealed, and there's a tremendous fear to fall into being face to face with an angry God. To the Christian, the face of God is our comfort and our strength. And we should seek the face of God in Psalm 105 and in verse 4. And also in Psalm 27, verses 8 and 9, right? When the Lord said unto me, Seek ye my face, my heart said unto thee, Thy face, Lord, will I seek. To an unsaved person, especially for those who are involved in evil, the last thing that they want to see is God's face. Why do we need to do these 4 things that are mentioned in verses 10 and 11 if we want to love life and to see good days? Why? Why do we need to do these things? It's because if we do them, then God's eyes are always upon us to bless us, and his ears are always ready to hear our prayers. But if we get involved with evil, even saved people, if you get involved with evil, then God has set his face against us in judgment. All right? God has set his face. Remember that Greek word we had a few lessons ago, antitasso? God sets himself against the proud. He gives grace to the humble, but God sets himself to do battle against the proud. Well, same thing. The face of God is going to be absolutely against those who do evil. And that can even mean a Christian too. To a Christian can the evil that's within their old sin nature, they can let it out and begin to infect people with evil and spread their evil. The Bible says the face of God is going to be against them. All right? Until next lesson, walk with the Lord. I know he walks with you.